Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy T.O. Okay, so I'm really trying to hold on, let me edit this, make myself a little bigger here. What I'm really trying to do is make a video a week. It's kind of been 2 weeks since my last video, but just a video a week talking about the Bears, talking about what's going on, talking about anything really, but mainly about the Bears. That's what I'm gonna start off talking about. Oh, since the last video I made, the Bears had just beat the Browns. They had just beat the Browns, and then they played the Packers, and we all know how that went. That was a crazy game, crazy comeback. And so I've noticed that we've been struggling a lot in the first half of games, and even some into the third quarter. There's been a couple of games where we come out right in the second half and score. I do appreciate that about Ben Johnson, that we're like making those adjustments at halftime. If you hear something move around in the background, that's Dundee, my dog. Oh, we're making those adjustments at halftime, and that's great. I just think the big thing about the Bears this year is we need to be patient. That's the word I've been using all year. That's the word I've been using since we drafted Caleb Williams. Patience. Caleb Williams is a raw product. He has a. We don't even know what Caleb Williams' full ability can be yet, and he's already shown a lot. So, what Ben Johnson brings to Caleb Williams' abilities already is his own version of creativeness, because Caleb Williams is very creative. He's creative with his legs. He's creative with some of the ways he throws the ball. Um, Caleb Williams is very creative. But what Ben Johnson brings is not just creativity, he brings structure. He brings structure to what the Bears want to do as a team, as an offense. He wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball to set up the pass. He also does not view trick plays as trick plays. He views trick plays as plays that throw the defense off, which I love, because it's not a trick play. We could do anything at any time. That's what he wants to do. He said this many times, that he wants to make the same thing look different and different things look the same. And that makes sense to me. It's like, oh, this look we're giving you right now, where we got two tight ends in the backfield and a running back behind the quarterback. This could be a pass. This could be a run. This could be a handoff to one of the tight ends. This could be a QB sneak. Like, it could be anything, but you'll get the same look. And he'll run that same play different points in the game, and it could be three different plays. So I do like that about Ben Johnson. I think he brings a lot to the offense. He wants to run the ball. I think we've seen that this year. We're the second best running team in the league. He wants to run the ball. I can speak for myself that in the draft, I was really like, oh my God, like, when are we going to get our running back? I think I said this last video. It was supposed to be a very strong running back draft, which it was. You had Ashton Genty going up there. You had a lot of these guys, the two running backs from Ohio State. You had the one from North Carolina. Like, you had a lot of running backs. Caleb Johnson, who I wanted, went to the Steelers. Not really having a great year, but I think that a lot of coaching has a lot to do with that. You put Caleb Johnson with Ben Johnson, and he's probably doing what Kyle Monangai is doing for us now. So it's like, I just look at the things that Ben Johnson has brought to the Bears, and Caleb Williams is an amazing quarterback. And I keep saying, people don't even know that that's my quarterback goes back to Terrell Owens crying about Tony Romo. And I keep saying that about Caleb Williams, and a lot of my friends have kind of started saying it themselves, because I keep saying, I'm like, that's my quarterback, that's my quarterback. And so that's like the thing around my friend group, is like, that's my quarterback. I don't even think a lot of them know where I got that from. Caleb Williams is an amazing quarterback, but this is all about coaching. Let's not make a mistake about that. the thing that makes football, and I said this the last video, the thing that makes football different from a lot of other sports is you need good coaching. You have to have good coaching. You cannot have, there are not a lot of bad coaches winning Super Bowls. Now, you might have a coach that had a really good year, he might had a really good team, and it makes him look good at coaching, but coaching is going to show up. Coaching is always going to show up. It's like parenting. Like, your parenting is going to show up in your kids. And that's the same thing with coaching. Like, if you're a good coach, it's going to show up. It's not going to be like a mistake. Like, oh, we accidentally got a good coach. No. And Ben Johnson has shown himself to be a really good coach. Now, this is his first year. We'll have this discussion. Let's see, 5 years from now and see where the Bears are, which I think the Bears will win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. I'm making that claim right now. In the next 5 seasons, the Bears will win the Super Bowl. Point blank, period. Before the 2031 season, we will be hosting a Lombardi Trophy with the current regime. Because if we can build on what we've done this year, right now, we're going to watch the highlights from yesterday's game, which my takeaway from the Packers game was, hey, we can beat you guys. Now, the Packers was not at full strength, but neither were the Bears. The Bears have not been at full strength all year. I will say there's a difference between losing a cornerback and losing your quarterback. Like, the Packers lost their quarterback. The one thing that I really appreciate about Caleb Williams is Caleb Williams stays on the field. Last season, and I know a lot of people want to throw away last season, but last season taught me a lot about Caleb Williams. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's good when he got to stand in front of a mic. He's not blaming his teammates. He's taking responsibility. He's self-aware. And also, he stays on the field. He was sacked 68 times last year and got up and played. I think the only time he came out of the game is like they were up by a few touchdowns and they took him out the game. The rest, but besides that, Caleb Williams is in the game. Caleb Williams does not come out of games. Now, knock on wood, hopefully that remains the thing, but I took a lot away from last year. Caleb Williams does not throw interceptions. He doesn't fumble the ball. He's really good at getting out of sacks. That's why I think about how many sacks he got out of last year, and he still was one of the highest sack quarterbacks in the league last year. So if he didn't have this ability, like, he's shown this year these highlights where he's been able to get out of sacks. He was doing that last year. It's just this year the difference is he's not getting those sacks where it's just like the offensive line is just letting 3 guys through without even trying to stop them at all. Last year our offensive line was like saloon doors, just swinging back and forth, just letting anybody through, no type of resistance. This year, because we solidified that interior of the offensive line specifically with Joe Thuney, Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson, those sacks that Caleb was taking last year, he's no longer taking. And they're giving him plenty of time to throw the ball. The things that Caleb has been able to work on this year is really his pocket presence. He's getting better at throwing the ball down the field. He wants to throw the ball. Even when Caleb Williams scrambles, he's scrambling with the intent to throw the ball most of the times. And it's like sometimes you're like looking at him like, just run, But he's looking downfield trying to see what plays. He wants to throw the ball. But my thing is something to build on for next season is his ability to just run. Like some of those plays that we saw from Malik Willis versus the Bears where it was a design run. Like, I'm like, man, we need to take some of those too because Malik Willis is a good quarterback. I think he's the best backup in the league, or second best besides Huntley in Baltimore. I think Malik Willis is an excellent backup quarterback, which goes to show that coaching is such a important thing because Malik Willis, they were calling him a bust when he was in Tennessee. He comes to Green Bay and gets to sit under Jordan Love and with Matt LaFleur, who I think is a good coach, Packers fans talking about firing him, they are out of their mind. Out of their mind if they want to fire Matt LaFleur. Now, Matt LaFleur is not a perfect coach. He's better than some of these candidates out here you would have to look at if you fired him. But anyway, I'm not a Packers fan. I don't really care what they do. I was saying was, I feel like some of those design runs that they have for Malik Willis, the Bears should put some of those into the offense, which this is the other thing. It's like, I believe Ben Johnson is so self-aware of what he's got going on. I loved what he did with his staff. He surrounded himself with people that are not the same as him and will bring different things. So he's self-aware enough to build this offense around Caleb Williams, which is something I thought when Nagy came here, in a similar situation. You're coming in here. It's a quarterback second year. He's a high draft pick. Let's see what you can do as an offensive coach. Nagy came in here and was like, this is my system. This is what we're running. Whereas Ben Johnson is coming here and said, this is my system. This is what we're running. But we're going to make all the details to heighten what you can do as a quarterback, not just put you in like this cookie cutter, like you have to fit in these parameters. Ben Johnson is smart enough to know, like, hey, I have all this horsepower in my quarterback. Let's detail the offense around what he can do and what his abilities are. Yes, I want to run the ball, but it's running the ball to set up him showing off his ability. When coming into this season, people were like, oh, how are we going to judge the Bears, or how are we going to judge Ben Johnson off what the Bears do? I was looking for a couple of things from Ben Johnson this year. Now, I had the Bears going 8-9, 9-8, kind of in that range. They've completely blew past my expectations. They are beyond my expectations at this point. This season is the season I thought they would have next year. That was my expectations, was, okay, you come in, it's going to look a little ugly for a couple of weeks, but what I was looking for from Ben Johnson is a couple of things. First of all, progression of the offense as a whole. Like, our offense was just one of the worst in the league last year. We couldn't move the ball. We couldn't score in the first quarter. We could barely score in the first half. Coming out of the locker room at halftime, we were one of the worst offenses. So, like, I was looking at progression of the offense as a whole. Check. That's happened. Check. Another thing I was looking at was the progression of the quarterback. Is Caleb Williams doing better than he did last year? Is the offensive line keeping him up? Was it him taking sacks, or was it the offensive line? I think he's shown that a lot of those sacks he took last year was the offensive line, because Caleb Williams' ability to get out of sacks is one of the best in the league. So you pair that with the structure of the offensive line now, the offensive line play, which is part of that offense that I was talking about the offensive growth. Like, the offensive line play, we've got one of the best offensive line in the league right now. We really do. And so I was looking for growth of the offense, check. Growth of the offensive line, check. Growth of the quarterback, check. Now, his completion percentage is not where you want it to be, and that's something that is fixable, right? That's what I believe. That stuff like that is fixable. Stuff like that is an off-season working on your completion percentage. I think you can do that, because the intangibles, the things you can't teach that Caleb Williams can do, like, I'd rather have a quarterback that can do all these amazing things and kind of struggles with the easy thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you can make a souffle, but you struggle with making eggs, I think we can work on you making eggs. You know what I mean? Like, most people can't make a souffle. You understand what I mean? Those are some of the things I was looking at with Ben Johnson. Another thing, which was in like the win-loss category, was, are we winning in our division? Right? So far, we've split with the division, because Ben Johnson has coached in this division for 3+ years now. He should know these teams. He's been the offensive coordinator for the Lions. He should know the Vikings. He should know the Packers, right? So that's what I was looking at too, was how is he doing in division? We should have won the first game versus the Vikings. Lions game, they put up 52 points on us. Like, that was embarrassing. But I feel like they were playing with, like, so much, like, this is our former offensive coordinator, whatever. So, they were playing with a big chip on their shoulder. Then, yeah, that first Packers game, we were in that thing. It didn't look good in the first half, but we came back, made it a game, ended up losing at the end, with the interception. So, understandable. And then, what happened last game versus the Packers, kind of similar in a way where it was like, oh, our offense not looking the way it should be. And I think a lot of people's feelings with the offense at this point, especially because of the way we beat the Eagles with running the ball and timely passing and big plays where the run is setting up all the big plays. I think people are looking at the offense like, oh, why aren't we just doing the same? But that was a specific plan versus that team. Like, you're not going to run out. This isn't Madden where you just go out and you got those couple of plays on Madden just can work all that. Like, that's not what goes on here. Bears are learning how to win, and how do you learn how to win? You win. That's how you learn how to win. You don't learn how to win by, we almost won. No, you learn how to win by winning. And in that second Packers game, the Bears was like, no, we're going to win this game. You know what I mean? So they won that game. So that's what I was looking for from Ben Johnson, basically, is how he does in the division. I wasn't looking for the Bears to make the playoffs. I really wasn't. I was not expecting this much out of them. So they blew past my expectations. Yes, they lost last night. Yes, they lost to San Francisco, but I really want to just look at this game and go through some of the plays.
Season high 48 points Monday night against Indianapolis. Purdy's in the air right away. They jumped around. It's picked off. The Bears have it.
Now right here, first play of the game, we get an interception. Absolutely crazy.
Inside the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown Chicago on the opening play. Jalen Johnson.
Crazy play.
And the turnover-prone Bears getting another one.
Jalen Johnson on the outside is going to jump this coming off of groin
Crazy
surgery. They said that he is finally back where he's ready to play every snap, and he was certainly ready for the first snap.
What a start in the Chicago team that leads the league in picks. As they face 3rd and 7 against a 4-man rush. Purdy in the middle, it's caught. Tonjes with the catch. First down, San Francisco. Juszczyk in motion, leading the way from McCaffrey. Running right. Christian with 9 to the 35-yard.
Now, coming into this game, anybody that was talking to me about this game, I kept saying, man, this game to me was a L no matter if the Bears were good or bad on the schedule, just because historically we have never really played well when we have to play San Francisco in San Francisco, and they don't play particularly well when they have to play the Bears in Chicago. I had a gut feeling in my stomach all week, just like, this is gonna be a loss. This is gonna be a loss. Get your mind ready. And that wasn't like what was the Bears, we're not good enough. It was just we've never played well. This team is playing with so much confidence. If you've been paying attention to San Francisco, look at their record right now, 11-4, just like the Bears. San Francisco should not be 11-4. They have been decimated with injuries, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Purdy has not even played a lot of times this year, and they were still winning games with Mac Jones, who their backup quarterback. So San Francisco is playing with a lot of confidence. The offense completely runs through McCaffrey. As you saw last night, McCaffrey was unstoppable. McCaffrey is unstoppable. And that's why I'm not looking at the Bears like, oh, the Bears can't. Nobody's been able to stop this offense. Look around. Nobody's been able to stop this offense. So I'm not really judging the Bears a lot off of this loss. Yes, they end up losing the game. Sorry, I'm sure you know. But what surprised me about the game was how much, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, how much fight the Bears had. Where it was like, okay, we're not about to get blown out. And I kept saying that while I was watching the game, like, okay, please just don't get blown out. Just don't embarrass me. Just don't embarrass me. So let's keep watching.
So it brings 2nd and 10 for Purdy. Empty it out. Toss is complete. Tonjes again for the 2nd time on this drive. He'll be a couple shy of the first.
I think looking at Brock Purdy, that's one thing. When Caleb Williams get the easy stuff down, it's over. It's over for the league. That's what Brock Purdy has right now. Brock Purdy, the reason Brock Purdy got in the league is because he could do all the easy stuff for their offense. And Kyle Shanahan, that's what his offense is. It's running the ball, it's timely passing, get the easy stuff out the way, pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, and hand the ball off. That's what he wants to do, and that's what Brock Purdy. Now that Brock Purdy is like literally, he was flinging the ball around like he was Brett Favre last night. Now that he's added that, Brock Purdy is making that money. He's making that money that he got paid.
First down. 3rd and 2. Fake to McCaffrey. Purdy moves, flies towards the end zone. It's down at the 1 to Demarcus Robinson, but a flag came down in the secondary as well. 1st and goal for the 1. Purdy. Touchdown. Launching to the end zone for the touchdown by Tonjes.
How does that happen? How is somebody that open? Nobody was 5 yards close to him. Like,
make this kind of mistake. The only guy possibly that could have gotten out of there was Edmonds.
And he just, what is he looking at?
Just nobody.
Nobody.
Tonjes like, hey, I'm here.
But that's because nobody set the edge. So he's thinking nobody set the edge there on the defensive line, and so Edmonds is thinking, oh, he might run the ball in. I got to stay here. When really his job was to follow that tight end. And that guy ended up being wide open because the person that was supposed to be guarding that tight end had to guard the guy that Edmonds was supposed to guard. But that, we still need a year to build this defense back up. That's what the problem is. We need a year to build this defense. Defensive line been mid all year at best. Maybe lower than mid, whatever lower than mid is.
Bears team, Olamide Zaccheaus, one of their dependable receivers, out tonight because of that illness. Williams' throw is complete. Cole Kmet, the tight end. Third and 3, and back to the air. Williams saw this check down covered. In some trouble here, going sideline incomplete.
See, that's what that play right there is what I'm talking about earlier. If he decides to run quicker, that's a first down. That's a first down. If he decides to run faster when he's going to his right, but he's looking downfield like, okay, who's open, where it's like, hey, just go get that first down right there. Just run and go get that first down. That's all you.
Drive 3 for San Francisco. Begins at their own 20. And Purdy back to the air, middle of the field in traffic. The catch again for Tonjes and a first down just past the 30. And both of their teams 11-4 and trying to get a 1 seed. Bears bringing 5. Purdy had it knocked down again. And that's Austin Booker again. So a couple of times.
They thought he was trending in the right direction, or they would not have brought him here. We'll see how he holds up.
And illness has been a problem. 3rd and 4. Williams throws. DJ Moore broken up. Jair Brown knocks it away. He's got it to add to the running yard total here.
Just so many missed tackles, so many arm tackles.
By far his longest run of the season, 43 yards.
Sheesh.
And there he is, the third-year man out of Miami. Started 10 games last year. From the 25, McCaffrey catches his breath. Robinson runs inside. Big run for Brian Robinson for 15 yards. Purdy on the boots, got space. Gonna take off inside the 5. Purdy into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Yeah, Purdy was playing out of his brain last night. Like, he was, sheesh.
What do? Once they break the pocket, they hold the ball longer than any two quarterbacks.
Look at that.
In the
Just
NFL
no.
They do a lot of this, and when they press down on the line of scrimmage, you have a choice.
The Bears' defense was falling for everything Shanahan wanted to do. Anything Shanahan wanted to do, the Bears' defense was going for it.
Injury for the 49ers. Second and 10, Chicago going pass heavy here tonight. And it's completed into the hands of Luther Burden, another rookie out of Missouri.
All of a sudden, do you want to risk it here, or are you going to risk it in the playoffs?
Fake to Swift, Williams sliding it inside. There goes Cole Kmet. 3 blockers ahead of him, and submarine by Bethune to get to him. And a flag comes down, 2 of them, as he's brought down at the 49-yard line. So to the 35-yard line it goes. And a first down for the Bears. And Williams to the air one more time, sending it downfield to the end zone for Burden. He's got it.
Yeah, see,
Chicago.
Man.
Luther Burden just told you about his ability. Behind the second.
Dude, I love Luther Burden. Luther Burden is slowly becoming one of my favorite players because he just, every time he's on the field, he's making a play. And I look at that and I'm like, that's not by accident. He's showing something in practice that Ben Johnson's like, get this guy on the field. And to be honest, this entire rookie class that the Bears had, specifically offensively, with you take Colston Loveland with the 10th pick in the draft you had, has had a monster year. Luther Burden. Everybody was like, oh, how could you take him right there? You should have got a pass right there. Dude, look at Luther Burden now. Dude is a dog. Dude is going to be a great player for us. And Kyle Monangai, well, let's go back. Ozzie Trapillo, who's playing left tackle right now for the Bears, was drafted. They drafted him to play left tackle. He played right tackle in college, but we already have Darnell Wright there, so they wanted him to really be a left tackle, but he had some struggles in training camp and before the season started. So he comes in and he's been spectacular. And you know why he's been spectacular? Because nobody talks about him. And that's always a good sign for, I always say that, referees and offensive linemen. If you're not talking about them, they're doing their job. I say that all the time. If I'm not talking about a ref, then he must be doing his job well. If I'm not talking about an offensive lineman, he must be doing his job well. Most of the times we talk about offensive linemen or referees, and when they're doing something, we like, okay, what is going on here? Like, this is bad. Basically what I'm saying, this entire Bears rookie class has a lot to do with why the Bears are 11-5 right now. Luther Burden has been playing great. Colston Loveland has been playing great. Kyle Monangai, look at a 7th-round pick. Everybody's like, this dude is probably just going to be roster depth, like, at best. Because, like, what are we doing? And everybody, we need to go get this guy, and we need to pick up this guy. And Kyle Monangai has been balling. So, a lot, kudos to Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles on this draft class. This rookie draft class has been great. I think the Bears' next step is to build that defensive up, and then, sky's the limit.
And Williams hits him.
Game after game, and game winners out there all the way across the field here. And I am going to...
Look at that throw.
This thing.
Look at that throw.
Just a little flip of the wrist here.
Woo! That's my quarterback.
Has made such a difference for his career.
That's what I'm excited for.
But the other thing is they're getting protection up front too.
Late pass here on 2nd and 10.
I mean, the Bears' defense was just embarrassing.
Line, gain of 30
just
for with a wide.
They had a better chance of playing nobody out there, and they probably would have been playing like this. Like, this is embarrassing.
Keeping. Outraces Montez Sweat and slides for the
Just
first down.
no edge, discipline, no nothing.
And they are the number 1 seed. Second quarter begins. 2nd and 11. Purdy throws.
Wide open. Like, what is this zone? I don't know what this is.
McCaffrey. Moving inside
Look at this. Yeah.
McCaffrey, great move. 6 yards.
Kevin Byard got named a Pro Bowler. He could not have had a worse game. Kevin Byard could not have had a worse game. Like, he was getting, it was bad. It was bad because that touchdown to Jennings you'll see later was all Kevin Byard's fault.
1st and goal, 49ers. 1st and goal, use check in motion, leading the way from McCaffrey to the edge, to the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. CMC TD.
Yeah,
So you're going to get the
we
same
could not stop
motion here,
anybody.
And then instead of the cutback lane, now they're going to stay outside zone on this play and come up with a touchdown. So they have basically given the Bears the same sort of looks out there.
The ground game can be punishing. We'll see if they get to it. It is the run to the right.
Yeah.
And there goes
Look at Monangai, bro.
Across midfield to the 47-yard line.
The
Once you
dude,
see
man.
that start to happen, then the play action comes around.
And there it is, the fake. It's Monangai.
Yep. Man, now his first little juke is like, boy, he put that foot in the ground and he off. Like, he don't make a lot of moves once he's like in the defender's face, but when he catch the ball and he like decide where he going, he's gone. I love that.
6-yard line. Theo Benedict, the extra offensive
Oh,
lineman,
free play.
moved.
Aaron Rodgers special.
For Williams as the flag is down, so Caleb looking to launch. Does towards the end
Look at
zone.
that.
Touchdown.
Look at that. That's my quarterback.
So it was a free play. Williams taking advantage of it. And if the flag is on the Niners, we're an extra point from a tie game.
Offside. Defense from 93. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Very calmly, after he knew he had it, watch him just drift over here, buy a little time. He knew he was going to throw it deep. Why not? You have nothing
Bam.
to lose at that point, and just roped it in there. That thing never got more than like 10 yards off the ground.
Yeah, this was Caleb Williams showing like, hey, this is what it looked like, guys.
2nd and 6, and Purdy throws across the middle, and it's caught. Tonjes again, filling in for Kittle to the 41-yard line. So the Chicago 45, Purdy out of the pocket, look out from behind, taken down the big first half for Austin Booker continues. And again, that's Pleasance, the left tackle who was beaten. He's filling in for Trent Williams. Injured his hamstring on the first snap. Loss of 7, Purdy to the air inside McCaffrey to the 37. Too shy of the first
Stuff
down.
was just wide open
As
for
Christian
Purdy
McCaffrey
all
comes up
game.
with the
Like,
grab.
sheesh.
Pinheiro has range at 56. Going to go for it on 4th and 3. And Purdy delivers in the middle for the first down.
Whatever he wants.
Pearsall with another big grab.
Whatever
in
he
this
wants
half
was there.
To the 24-yard line. 2nd and goal. Purdy looking left, going that way. Jawan Jennings heard from for the first time tonight. LaShawn Wright, the tackle. 2nd and goal. Purdy keeping. And he scores again.
Man.
We got Montez Sweat right there is going to be unblocked. That's the read. If Sweat takes a step down, here we go. It's exactly what happened. Took the misstep and down the line, and I'm just going to say we talked about it. They start, nope, they're staying back on this one, so run the ball, and yet they still can't get it going.
And Monangai gets thrown down by Sam Okuwanu for a loss of 2 yards. 3rd and 14. Niners bring 4. Williams protected. Going up.
Look at that throw.
Look
Look at that throw.
Touchdown catch Swift to the edge, cuts it inside for the touchdown. Jonah Jackson was out there blocking. Swift takes it inside. An extra point away from a tie game.
I'll tell you, when you get these kind of blocks on the edge outside, it just completely makes the play. You take out the outside part of it. There's nobody left. Everybody sort of trips over him. And the Chicago Bears with an answer coming out. It has been...
And you mentioned Williams. He is now officially ruled out for the remainder of the game with that hamstring injury. Purdy, first down throwing. Beautiful layered throw. Inside the 40 is Kendrick Bourne with the reception. Was in at quarterback when Purdy was out with the injury. Their familiarity from New England carried over. A couple of 100-yard games. First down from the 30. Purdy inside. Juszczyk comes back to get it. Brought down to the 22-yard line by Brisker. Brian Robinson's the back on 2nd and 5. Purdy looks his way. Goes his way. Cuts back inside. Fights forward for the first down. What a job he did to get by the initial contact and get right to where the marker is. And it will be 1st and goal for San Francisco. Had to go quick with the play clock running down. He did. It's a boot. Purdy pulling back, stepping forward.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
What a play, Purdy!
How does that happen?
Juszczyk on the business end. You deserve to dance.
Who would you say is your BFF?
You're one of my BFFs for sure.
Ooh, sorry, buddy. I already got a BFF. Experian, my big find.
The play only starts when this guy takes off. It has been the Brock Purdy show out here tonight. From the beginning,
Man.
it was going to be a scramble off between these two quarterbacks.
He looked like Caleb Williams out there with the way he did that move.
This comes up a little short sometimes in the box.
2nd and 5. Williams sliced inside, so it's got a first down. He's got 10.
I mean, let's not make any.
But maybe some pressure.
Let's not miss anything. The 49ers defense was awful also.
Again, it's a jailbreak. This time Williams escapes, fires on the
Look at that!
Caught at the 36-yard line by Burden. There is a flag. Upton Stout off the field for San Francisco, being checked out in the 10th. 2nd and 12, Caleb Williams. Out quick, on top, on target. Jahdae Walker backwards out of bounds, one shy of the first down. 3rd and 1 coming up. 4th and 5. Pressure comes. Williams throws inside, complete.
Wow.
To Loveland.
Yeah, once Caleb Williams gets stuff like that down, it's over. It's over.
End of the 3rd quarter. And some of the lights off for the music performance between quarters. We're now at full lights as Swift
Whoa.
gets up to full speed and scores a touchdown. DeAndre Swift.
You saw that he was about to do Purdy's celebration dance. He was like, nah.
He's going to get the key block right there. That's going to swing DeAndre Swift. This has been a team effort. Both sides of the ball, tight ends, wide receivers blocking, running backs doing spectacular things. If this is a preview of the playoffs, sign me up.
McCaffrey splits out 3rd and 7. They bring 4. Purdy fires middle. Pearsall having a night. First down at the 47-yard line. That's a gain of 19. And the Niners stay on the move. 3rd and 7. Bourne in motion. Here's a little pressure on Purdy. Got to him, and it's incomplete. Sports. We're going to have the Olympics and the Super Bowl, the greatest sports day any network ever has.
See, this was the drive here that I think lost us the game. Now, we score on this drive, but this drive lost us the game because we didn't score a touchdown. We just got a field goal. And so, in a shootout like this, where it's like nobody can stop anybody from scoring, you have to score a touchdown because you know the other team is coming to score a touchdown next play. You have to score a touchdown. This is not a field goal. See, last game was a field goal game versus the Packers because they couldn't score. You were stopping them from score. Now, you couldn't score initially. You did give up the one touchdown, but for the most part, it was a pretty close game. This game, you don't score a touchdown, you liable to be down by 2 scores.
We'll have it for you coming up in 6 weeks on NBC. from the 11. Caleb Williams with the pass. It's caught. It's a hot start to this drive.
Man, I love Luther Burden. I love Luther Burden so much.
2nd and 7. Pressure coming. Monongai running away from it on the other side. Through the tackle.
Yeah, my next Bears jersey is either a Colston Loveland jersey or a Luther Burden jersey.
Play action again. It's worked well. On the run.
Look at that! Look at that! That's a rookie.
Loveland top of the screen, Burden at the bottom. They've had the big night so far for the Bears. Williams pass caught by Monongai, taken out of bounds by D. Winters. Flag late on the play here. So this was going on downfield. Loveland was engaged, I believe, with Bethune.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 48. Penalties half the distance to the goal, and includes an automatic first down.
Terry McCauley is
the phone if you want to connect this to your projector.
The hero against Green Bay, Janae Walker, is the man in motion on 3rd and goal.
I don't know what that was.
One to the right. Williams gonna check it here. And off
Whoa.
hands, incomplete.
That looked like it was going to be a pick.
For a Chicago lead.
Yeah, this was not a field goal game, bro. Like you got to score touchdowns here because look, they march right down the field next drive.
Purdy trying to escape, throws, it's caught.
We just could not get that stop, bro. We could not get a stop.
San Francisco 40 back to him with some blocking. McCaffrey outside the number. There goes Christian McCaffrey inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Here, what's been happening? Hughes check in motion. Still Purdy with a clean pocket. It's complete. It's Jawan Jennings.
That was all Kevin Byard.
The Niners take the lead.
That was all Kevin Byard.
You're going to see these linebackers react down to Tonjes. Here's the dig I was talking
Watch
about.
Kevin Byard on
They
this play.
react up to that underneath route. It was a
Where are you, Kevin? You should have been right there. Where is he?
Left the hole that he was supposed to have covered in the middle of that defense. And there
That's our
it
Pro
goes.
Bowler.
Unbelievable. Kyle Shanahan saw
Man,
it. He saw
untouched.
Really needs some action from Bryce Huff here. He is the one edge rusher that could get it done for San Francisco.
Bottom of the screen, 47. He's contained. His pass is deflected. It's incomplete. Big hands of Alfred Collins getting up to bat it away.
I'm grateful for many things. And
6
Talkspace
million
therapy is one of them.
commercials.
Because Adam and I have been through a lot.
The rookie second-round pick out of Texas sets up 2nd down. This is 3rd and 4 for Chicago. Williams escaping the pocket, taking off, running for the first down.
See, Caleb Williams, that ability to run the ball when he wants to is amazing.
Burden in motion. Here comes some pressure. It's out towards Burden.
Woo! This was the play. This was the play. That play right there is exactly why you take him in the draft that early. That's exactly why. He was a steal. Man, I love Luther Burden.
Williams looking. He throws. It's caught. It's Loveland inside the 15.
Now he had a drop in his draft. He had a drop in his drive too that they didn't. I don't think they show, but still.
Tight ends to the bottom. 2nd and 10. Williams goes underneath.
Oh, this play! I'm just like Swift. If Swift runs outside, right there, I think he scores a touchdown. But he cut back inside, and I'm just like, just run outside. Because the other thing, if you run outside there, if you don't score a touchdown, you're going out of bounds. So that also stops the clock and saves you some time. Because what happened is he gets tackled, he goes inside, and he gets tackled. Now the clock is running. Now you have 4 seconds left for this last play versus you run outside. If you don't score, you go out of bounds at least. And then you probably have like 10 seconds left or, 15 seconds left. I'm not sure how much time was left. Let me go back, actually. Look at how much time is left right here. If you cut outside, you're looking at 12, 13 seconds left on the clock.
4 seconds left. Second and goal. Here is Williams. He's got to throw it to the end zone. Clock is extended.
Man.
Williams keeps the play alive. He's looking. He's got to get rid of it. Retreating.
He almost had it too.
It's over.
He almost had it too.
And the Niners have won.
Just a little short.
Chased by
That's what she said.
Got away once, got away again. Everybody was coming with him. Just couldn't get enough on it as he tried to reach Jade Walker to have another end of regulation drama catch for the rookie receiver.
Yeah, so that was the game last night. Really good game. Really a lot of highlights and big plays. Yeah, I thought Caleb Williams had a great game, even though he came up a little short in the end there. But a lot to build on. You build off of these games, win or lose. Win or lose, you build off of these games. So I think we had a lot to build on, especially offensively. Defensively it was embarrassing how bad the Bears was defensively. We couldn't stop anybody. We couldn't tackle. The one good play we did have was the turnover. Thank God we had that pick six and on the first play of the game, because really that was the only redeemable thing about the defense the whole game was that first play of the game, pick six. So yeah, but offensively a lot to build on there. I'm not really upset at this loss. You know, we lost to a real that's a good San Francisco team. You know, they might not have those names that we're all used to, like Bosa and, you know, Kittle playing and a lot of those guys like that, Warner, you know. But the players they do have, that's why the draft is so important, because that's where you get depth. Depth is not just there to have bodies standing on the sidelines during the game while your main play. They're there because, hey, if something happens, it's time for you to go in. So, and the Bears are almost there. They're getting there. They've shown signs of that, especially with the wide receivers and, you know, some of these defensive backs. We've have like really good depth there. We need to get depth on the defensive line. You know, we've had a lot of injuries on the defensive line, and that is really showing, because if some of our main guys are out, we just don't have anybody that can rush the quarterback. We didn't really have a lot of guys that can rush the quarterback besides Sweat and Booker missed a quarter of the season with an injury. So he's just getting his feet back under him. But yeah, we lost to a really good team. They're going to the playoffs too. This was like the last 2 weeks was like playoff games. Like, you could feel it. It really started with that Eagles game, I felt, where the Bears felt like every drive was so important, right? Every drive was like, okay, we have to score. We have to get some type of point. And, you know, defensively, we have to get a turnover. We have to do this. We just, you know, the clock struck 12 on the Bears' ability not to put some of these teams away in this game. It's like, you have to score a touchdown on that drive that you scored a field goal on. And so once we fix some of those things where it's like you got to put your foot on a team's throat, you can't just be like, oh, let me, you know, no. You got to put your foot on their throat. And that's something Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams spoke about when Ben Johnson first got here. So I definitely know they have the self-awareness to look at this game and be like, this is where we fell short, was we needed to do this and we didn't do it. So I think the Bears have a lot to build on. You know, I like the position we're in, you know, going into next week versus the Lions team who really don't have a lot to play for at all, just pride at this point. As Bears fans, we got to be patient. That's my message to Bears fans. We need to work on being patient. We're building something here, and we're building something that's going to be sustainable for seasons to come. That's the thing. You don't want to be just good in 2025. You want to be good 2026, 2027, 2020. You know what? As long as Caleb is our quarterback, you want to be in a position to win. Look at what the Kansas City Chiefs built with Mahomes, where it's like you expect them to make a playoff run every single year. So that's where you want to get to as a Bears fan, where you're expecting the Bears to just, be in some type of contention every single year. And so that's what we're trying to build. Yes, last night's game sucked, but that's the point I wanted to really make, and that's why I wanted to get on here anyway, was to make that point where it's like, you know why last night sucked? Because our team is good. That's why last night sucked. Where last year, we weren't getting together to watch the Bears games like this because they sucked. Now, I look around my community, and that's what everybody got on Bears gear. Everybody's excited about the Bears. Everybody loves Caleb Williams. I said myself, I'm going to get my nails done. If the Bears go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to get a manicure. So, everybody's excited about the Bears. So, when they lose, it sucks because we expect them to win now. So, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather be in that position than last year where it was like, we went on a 10-game losing streak. We were 5-12. We were trash. It was bad. It was fun at the end when we beat the Packers, but it was that was the only good thing win-loss wise about last season. So these games suck, and this is how it's supposed to feel when your team is good and you lose a game like that, where you lose a game where you felt we were just 1 or 2 plays away, versus last year this team I think we got blown out by San Francisco last year when we played them or something like that. So this is a good feeling. That's what I'm trying to say, is it's a good feeling to be in a place where your team is good enough that everybody's getting together, and everybody as a group is feeling, every play, everybody's oh, yes, everybody is feeling it, so I'm just really excited about that, where I feel last year we didn't have that. The last couple of years we didn't have that. We definitely didn't have that with Justin Fields. But now that Caleb's here and Ben Johnson is here, and I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, we will be celebrating the Super Bowl in Chicago. Now, I don't know if it'll be the Indiana Bears that we celebrating because of this whole situation with the stadium. But either way, I see us winning the Super Bowl in the next 5 years based off of our coach and quarterback combo. As long as we have these two and Caleb is healthy and they have, decent amount of weapons around him, keep building the offensive line up. We got the coach, we got the quarterback, we got the GM. We'll see about, Poles still be scaring me sometimes, but he's made some good moves. I got to give it to Ryan Poles. He takes a lot of flack, but he made some good moves over the last couple of seasons. So, but if you have those three, that's what I'm saying. If you have the GM, the coach, and the quarterback, your franchise is going to always be right there with everybody else. And that's what I wanted for the Bears. I just want to be in the mix. I'm not saying we got to win the Super Bowl every year. I'm not even saying we got to make the playoffs every year. But we should be in the mix. That's all I'm saying. We got the coach, we got the quarterback, we got the GM, so we should be in the mix. We should not be 5-12, 4-13, picking in the top 10 in the draft. No. That 10th pick that we had for Colston Loveland should be the last time we in the top 10 in the draft for a while, unless we make a trade to get a top 10 pick. But it should not be a top 10 pick based off of our record. So that's all I want for the Bears. We just got to be patient. These losses hurt because they're supposed to hurt. These last year we lost 10 games in a row, and it was just, I became numb to it. I was numb because it was just oh, they lost again. Oh, and the losses suck because we were right there, and that's the difference. That's another difference between last year and this year, is that we were in those games that we lost last year, but we didn't lose them. We lost them. This year, we're in those games that we lost last year, and we're winning them. So that's something I think we're building off of for future success. Is, like I said at the beginning, the way to become a winning team is to win. You know, we had last year where we were in those games and we're like, oh, we're right there, but we lost them. We're losers. At the end of the day, you're a loser. Now, this year, we're in those same situations and we're winning. It's a big difference that a coach brings. You know, that's why I say coaching is so important in the NFL, because if you don't have the right guy, if we don't have Ben Johnson, we lose in some of those games. 100%. We definitely not know 11-5. So, yeah. Like, subscribe, check me out. I'm going to try and keep this going. I want to put out a video every week. That's my goal going into 2026, is to put out a video every week. I missed last week just because I had a lot going in my life, and it was the holidays. I had a lot going on personally. But I'm going to try my best to put out a video about something. It's not going to always be about sports. It's not going to always be about the Bears. I might talk some Bulls. I might talk some White Sox. They've had a lot going on. I might talk sports in general. I might talk some gossip. I might talk some, whatever. I just want to put something out. I got all this equipment. I kept making all these excuses like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. Now I went and used the last couple of months to like acquire all this equipment, a computer, a setup, mics, all this stuff. So I'm going to use it. And that's my goal for this year is, we got 52 weeks. I want to put out 52 videos. That's the goal. 52 weeks, 52 videos. That's our goal. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It's your boy T.